Hello guys, and today we have here another awesome deck profile. We have here the Hermit Yokai. I've been working with them and I've gotten them to do stuff. I was greatly influenced by some guy from ICS in London. I looked at his deck profile, I liked his playstyle, I liked how he had his deck, and I agreed with a lot of the things that he said. And I have built this deck and it's interesting. I've gone through a lot of changes. I was trying Kaiser in the deck, because I felt like this deck gets rid of all its monsters if you can just make it so you have one on board. But then again, it got to that point where I was fighting with my monsters in case it was like, stay on board! Why do you go to the hand? Stay on board! And sometimes Kaiser was still really easy to get over just with that MST and Fairy Wind being the card that people side. God, excuse me. And so, we have here this whole interesting deck. Besides that, the only other card that I do want to point out that I tried a little but didn't try for too long, got rid of it real quickly, but I didn't create a valid assessment of it, was Creature Swap. Because all of our monsters return to the hand when they're normal summoned, so if you need to get a quick monster to stay, you can steal your opponents and then your monster return to your hand. So Creature Swap is a techable card. It's probably even better than Snatch Steal in this deck. But I did not try it out that long, and I do not have that much room in here. But let me just go in. We run 2 Moronot. He just special summons 1. He's our toolbox, pretty much. You can get rid of any of these guys and use him to summon out the ones you don't have. So he's really nice. And the one you summon out will not return to the hand, so you can use him to get out 2 monsters that won't disappear. And so Thunder King Ryo, just to hurt Necros, and is a monster that you can just pop down on the field and say, he's not returning to my hand. And he's also a warning to one extent or another. And then we run, this is Comma 2 I believe. devpro has yet to update them, but this is Comma 2, he can attack directly. They all allow you to normal summon except for Suzik. Yeah, Suzik does not allow you to normal summon another one. So these guys can all normal summon each other. Comma 1 returns 1 to hand, returns a face-up card on the hand, and it's once while this card is face-up on the field. So if you summon him out with Magat, God, these names are hard to pronounce. Magat, he will only be able to use his effect once, but if you just normal summon him, or if you have 2 and like another one, then you can activate both of them, get rid of 2 cards, so he can be really great. And then he was Comma 3, or Searcher. Other deck, if you inflict damage, will search for a Yosenju card. And then Suzik is our Honest. It gives plus 1,000 if it's on the field, or discard from the hand to plus 1,000. Rejeki, Terraforming for our field spells Divine Wind and Orichalcos. I've been trying out Orichalcos and it hasn't been that bad. The only problem is when I have Terraforming, I'm not sure whether to go for Divine Wind or Terraforming. If I have Divine Wind, I have a field because I'll be able to summon out a monster. And with Orichalcos, I can do a whole bunch of damage, and so, but they do kind of mess with each other because Orichalcos will destroy all spell summon monsters you control. So if you have Divine Wind out and you summon out a monster, now you're going for Orichalcos, you might end up losing a monster or 2. So that can be a thing, but you could always use Orichalcos first, but then again, like, you're going for damage and you're going for defense. That doesn't really make sense. But I still think Orichalcos is decent to have in this deck, like, just so that way you can run Terraforming to really get to Divine Wind, so that way Terraforming isn't really dead. If Divine went up to 2, I'd probably throw out 0 of Orichalcos. So it's just there to be there for the main part, just so that way we have another target for Terraforming. And then 3 Duality. A lot of people are running Mistake in this deck, and I've found that it is really good, specifically against Necros. But sometimes Duality and Mistake, it's like, But that is why whenever I see Mistake and Duality in my hand, I set them both. So that way if they hit the Duality, you have the Mistake. 3 MSTs, because you have to. Despite the fact that Vanities does nothing to this deck, you still have to. Tenki is our other Searcher. He gets us any of our level 4s. Snatch Steal, Divine Wind. When a wind monster returns to the hand, summon out a level 4 lower wind monster from your deck. So that works instantly. Plus 500 attack, cannot spell summon from the extra deck. All spell summon monsters are destroyed, and once while this card is face up on the field, cannot be destroyed. Mirror Force, because screw all your opponent's monsters. 3D prisons, this is pretty much our way of protecting our open fields. 3 vanities. Vanities is just amazing in this deck because it's just like, because you can still swarm because they're normal summons, and then Vanities is just like, yep, that's cool. Get out 3 monsters, your opponent can get out 1. And then we were macro because nobody loves macro except this deck and Spirit Beasts. Mistake, nobody can search. Negate anything, pretty much. And warning because the Neko is a thing. Although if I'm facing a deck that doesn't run the Neko, I do side this card out. Cards I've seen myself siding out is of course Duality when I side in Mistakes. I side out Suzik, Magot, Warning of course. And I think I side out MSTs against the Necros matchup because I don't think they run too many back row. I could side out Urichalco, that is a target. And so that is just a thing. I am thinking about running this deck at regionals, probably. I'll probably have the main deck get this extra deck. I don't think I'll have. So the main spawns we make are Tiger King, Phantasmal Dragon. We really don't need to make 101 or Castel in this deck. I don't want Castel. I just realized that. Because this guy, pretty much, he just returns them to the hand anyway, so you really don't need to make 101 or Castel. Phantasmal Dragon. This was really good. Wow, I cannot speak today. This was really good with Kaiser, because if you can make him, he cannot be targeted by... What does it say? Your opponent cannot target any hopping monsters with effects or attacks, so he cannot be attacked, he cannot be targeted for effects, so he is just beautiful with Kaiser. But yeah, Kaiser was easily gotten around against the Necros matchup, like unless you had this guy out and they had summoned Manju, like you could... It was just stupid. They just get rid of their Manju or they'd be able to still play, and so I took Kaiser out. Heartland Draco was also good with Kaiser, but it's good in here because it's just an instant 2000 damage. But you don't really need to make it that much. Chidori is one that we do make, and wow, am I sick or something? Every time I go to record, I have to cough 5,000 times. I'm sorry, guys. I am sorry. Anyways, Lightning Chidori. He's pretty much you are going to be resetting. So you can return a face-up card to the top of the deck, a face-down card to the bottom of the deck. And so he's really good. Sidonut don't really make, Abyssrella don't really make, and Cowboy we do make. And I run 2 Cowboys just to be in that safe side where if I need to make double Cowboy, I can. It makes going for game a lot easier because if they're at 32 or less, that would be a double Cowboy target. Because if you get both of their effects off twice, then that's 32 damage, 8 times 4. And if it's any less, then it becomes easier and easier and easier. Right? At 32, they just need to get rid of 1 if it's at 24 or less, then they need to get rid of both of them, and so that can become a problem for your opponent. So double Cowboy just to be safe, and Rhapsody and Berserk for the Necros matchup, pretty much. And that is the extra deck. Again, the ones we make the most would be Tiger King and Chidori, but yet you don't even really need to make them because if you have Divine Wind, like Divine Wind plus this guy is just a beautiful, because you summon out whoever you want, and then you're just like, I have a plus 1,000 in my hand. Attack, I dare you. Oh, honest. So that is really good, and it's even better if you have Silvoy Calcos out, because now they're just beaters. Because it's just like, like this guy goes up to 21, then you have the Tankies, and you have this guy who gives them another 1,000. So you can just instantly just have a field full of 25 beaters, and your opponent's like, what? How? And then you just kill them. The only problem is that these cards conflict with each other. So that can be a little bit annoying. Just to a tad bit. But if you can play around it right, and if you can maybe like use him as tribute fodder, then the one that you special summon for tribute fodder for this guy, then like summon out him, and then use his effect to increase attack, then use his and he'll be destroyed, and then yeah, that wouldn't be too bad of a scenario. And so onto the side deck, which you guys are probably very curious about. 3 Flying Sea for the Burning Abyss matchup, 3 Max Sea for Necros and Burning Abyss. I do side this in whenever I'm going second against a lot of decks. If I win game 1 and I'm going second, I will side this card in. So that way, if I open up with it, I have an instant way to say, try. Like, I just had a Burning Abyss matchup, and I maxed him, and the guy got me down to low life points. He got out double Dante, and I think it was at 2,000 life points afterwards, but I had a whole bunch of cards in hand, and I was able to get both of my secret techniques, or secret move for the TCG, and he was just like, I just ended up winning because I was able to bounce both his he made Downward Magicians. So after he made double Dante, he then made 2 Downward Magicians, and I Snatch Stealed 1, tributed off with Magot, and then I already had Orichalcos out, so all of them were beefed. And after you get this card out, it's like special summon cool, except for the extra deck, because like you can just use Magot to summon out whoever you want, and Zero Orichalcos is cool with that. So if you already have it on the field, that's just Magot will just love that card because you summon out him. And so I was able to get rid of his both downwards bounce back cards for days, and it was just beautiful. And then I had 2 techniques, and he couldn't really play after that. And so yeah, we have 3 Maxi, 3 Flying Sea. For our Clifford hit, we have 3 Fairy Wind, of course, and Twister Fairy Wind instead of Spell Shadowing Arrow because Skill Drain is a card, and Skill Drain can make people cry in any deck. So we have to run the Fairy Winds to get over the Skill Drain. And then two more mistakes for Necros and Cliffords, and 2 wiretaps for the mirror match. I don't know how likely one is at a YCS or regionals to find a mirror match with Yosenju. I feel this deck is becoming more popular. You can only tell by how many views and how long people have watched this video. If nobody watches this video, then obviously I'm lying here, but if people are, then yeah, this deck will be a popular thing. So that means wiretap is a great way because it just gets rid of their techniques, because really that's what it comes down to. Is their Tenkies. I don't run the other search, I don't run the spell card that has counters. So cards like Fairy Wind and Wiretap would be great cards to have in your side deck for the mirror match. And you could also side in Twister if you wanted to, but I think I'd just settle with the Fairy Winds for the mirror match. And we really don't have that much for Necros. If we had Necros, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 5 cards. We do have the triple vanities. I do side out MSTs, so I'd probably side out. I'd want to keep the deep prisons. I definitely want to keep the deep prisons. I'd probably side out. Ooh, Seal of Orichalcos could be really nice just to run over cards. So let me do this. Let me show you guys how I would side for the Necros matchup. Go in there, Maxi. There we go. Here we go for double mistake. So now I need to get rid of 5 cards. Let's go him. Let's go Suzik. So I just need 2 more cards. I could side out a Duality because I sided in more mistakes. And I could side out a Terraforming. I could. Because Mistake and Terraforming don't work well. And so this is what it would look like if I sided in against Necros. I'd have the 3 Maxis. I'd have the Mutafors and the D persons, which can really screw them over. They're not paying attention, but Deneko is a thing, so I have to have that warning in there. Mistake is great. And yeah. Only sided in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I sided in 1 other card. Thought I sided in 6 cards. I must have sided only in 5. Oh well, I have no clue what I'm talking about, but this is what I'd look like if I were to side in against Necros. I know when I watch deck profiles, I really like to see what people side out, because that is important to me, because otherwise it's like, I don't know what I should side. But this is what I'd side, and how it would look like for the Necros matchup. Of course, if I was facing other matchups, like if I was facing Burning Abyss, I'd take up all of these guys and put in the Flying Sea, so it looked something like this. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Tell me what you guys think of this deck. Oh, I'd probably also take out this guy and to keep the MST. And so tell me what you guys think of this deck, and do you think Yosenjus have the ability to be in the top 32 even if it's the 32nd place? Do you guys think Yosenjus might actually be a competitive deck in the future? I mean, I think actually at the YCS London they got 12th place, so yeah, we already know that they will be competitive, but do you think they might be? Tell tell me what you guys just think of the deck. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos, including the previous video, which if I ever get around to annotating, which I never do, there will be a link when I am done speaking to my previous video. So again, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.